Hi dear students, you are welcome in this video. Dear students, in the last video we talked about language as a communication system, and in this video we are going to talk about the characteristics of language or the salient features of language and human and animal communication, and we will differentiate between these two things, human and animal communication. What is the basic difference between these two systems, and we will also explore the more about language and its characteristics. So before that, let's understand there might be a few questions which may be asked in your examination. So this type of questions, let's understand. Here we have very first question. If you look at the topic of today, you will understand these questions. What are the characteristics of language? We will consider it. Then how does language work? This also is the part of our discussion in this video. Third question we have, what are the properties of language? And last question we are going to address is difference between animal and human communication. So this is very important, and we are going to understand it through two tables, human communication and animal communication, and with that we will understand the salient features or characteristics. So here very first feature we have, here you can see displacement, and displacement refers to a few things while communicating in human language and also in animal language. The very first thing here in displacement, we understand that time and space is important. What is displacement? Displacement is nothing but it refers to time and space and also location. Here we can find that when we use language, we can use it across time and space. Means an event is happened in past, but we can tell about that event in present, and also we can predict the future. And for example, the same event is happened somewhere in the outside, but we can talk about that event wherever we go at any location, but the same thing is not in animal communication. So we have here past, present and future. So human language can address or can have the discussion on past, also can talk about the present, and also can talk about the future. But if you look at the animal language, you can find that there is immediate time and space, and it lacks these qualities, past, present or future. The animal communication cannot talk or cannot signal what happened in the past or what is happening in the future, but it can talk about immediate past or immediate present. Here we have an example. It's very simple example. Say for example, cat communication. The very word here we have meow. If a cat says meow, or just she produces the sound meow, what does it mean? It means something has happened recently or something has happened in the immediate past. So this is the animal communication, or this is regarding the animal communication. But in human communication we have very systematic communication. In that systematic communication we can refer to the past events or future events too. We can plan, and here we have example. We can describe historical events. We also can have fictional things. We also can plan for the future. There are so many fictional things. We can talk about the superhumans. We can talk about the superheroes. For example, we have many superhumans and superheroes in stories, in novels and in films too. So this kind of prediction we have in human language, but the same kind of prediction we do not have in animal communication. This is the basic difference, and this is the displacement, feature of displacement of human language. And here we have an example for animal communication. An experiment has been done on bee dance, because bee dance convey, or bees convey, there is honey somewhere around, and other bees, when these bees return to the hive, and they ask other bees to go there and have that free food of honey, and they convey this message through a particular dance, and it is the bee dance. But this form also is very limited, and this bee dance is used in a very limited kind of form, and just they can tell the other bees or the bees on the hive that there is honey somewhere around, but this communication is horizontal. Vertical communication they do not have. We will understand this in the next feature. So the second feature of human and animal language, here we have the arbitrariness. Now we generally found that there is no connection between linguistic form or symbol or sign and meaning, because we have multiple layers of language. We produce sounds and those sounds represent some kind of meaning. If we use those sounds, we have a particular meaning, and there is no connection between what we pronounce in human language. Basically we are talking about human language, this phonological system we have, and when we use or utter or pronounce some kind of words, the same words are not spelled in the same fashion when we use a written form. So there is arbitrariness, the language is arbitrary, and there are so many things in a language, those things we named or we have particular names. Say for example, we have the word dog. Why dog is called as dog? We do not have any kind of reason behind that. Say for example, if we called in English a dog, and the same we call in other language, and why this difference is, there is no any connection. And the basic reason behind this arbitrariness is that choice of words culturally determined. Now we find that the language is embedded in culture. In that particular culture, whatever we use those things. Say for example, we have an English culture. In English culture there is a system, a different system. If we come to Asia or in India, in Indian languages we have different culture, and hence we have different names of things or different kinds of things in Indian languages. Say for example, we have dog or we have tree. Why do we call tree as a tree? There is no reason. But in animal communication we find that this kind of clear connection in the message and the signal. So this is directly opposite to human language, and we have finite set of signals in animal communication. Say for example, we have here word, the dog sound grr. You can go anywhere in the world or in the globe, you find that dogs have particular kind of sounds or signals the same across the globe, but the same thing is not found about human language, because there are different types of languages and there is arbitrariness in the language. So this is the difference between animal communication and again human communication, and arbitrariness is the basic feature of human communication or human language. The third feature we have productivity, and in this feature we can understand that productivity is a very novel character or characteristic or an important property of human language, because though we have finite set of sounds or finite set of words in a language, but we can produce infinite set of unlimited sentences or types of sentences. Here infinite number of novel utterances we can produce with the help of finite set of symbols. Then we have creativity or open-endedness in human language. Say for example, if a child is learning a language, he can produce very different kind of or infinite number of utterances in the language. If an adult uses the same kind of thing, he or she can produce infinite number of sentences with the help of finite number of sounds or finite number of symbols in that particular language. But the same thing is not there in the animal communication. We have in animal communication limited set of signals. For example, one signal is equal to one message. There is no any creativity in the animal communication if we compare the same with human communication. For example, we have bee dance. They cannot convey up or up direction but around or horizontal communication. In the last example we have talked about this thing. There is an experiment made on the bee, and in that experiment the honey is placed at the top of a tower. This is the tower, and here we find the bee hive is placed, and here the honey is placed, and some bees taken here up and they have given this honey, and these bees came down again to the beehive and they did their bee dance, and through this bee dance they conveyed the message that there somewhere is honey, and other bees also went directly to find that honey, and these bees went in this direction and in this direction, but they did not go in the up direction. So in this experiment we found that the up direction is not there in their message, or they could not convey that the bees should go up at the tower and find the honey. So this experiment is very important, which shows that though bees or honey bees have the different kinds of signals to convey to other bees, but they have very limited form of message embedded in those communication systems. So this is the basic difference between animal communication and human communication. The productivity is the very feature of human communication. Here we can understand, and here we do not find any creativity or any kind of productivity in their communication system. They have a limited set or finite set of communication signals. Next feature here we have cultural transmission, and this is very important regarding both animal and human communication. How cultural transmission happens? So we do acquire language, we learn language, but in animal communication or in animal language we find that it is instinctive signals. So any animal have that kind of signals in their genes, but the same thing is not present in the genes of human beings. Though we have predisposition to learn a language, but we have to learn language, we have to acquire language. In case of animals, they do not need to learn language, they have the signals in their genes, and they can produce those signals in various situations. So this is the basic difference. They are born with ability to produce these kind of signals. For example, birds produce utterances, and there are some exceptions. An exception is that if some birds were kept alone or in a confined place, and after a few days if they were sent in the jungle, and if their sounds were observed, we find that these sounds are very different than other birds, but still they produce the sounds, still they produce the messages, still they produce the different kinds of signals. So this is about the animal communication. What happens in human communication? We need to acquire language, we need to learn a language, and language is learned in a particular culture. Let's take an example. For example, an Indian child, say for example a child is born in India, and it is sent to America, and he is brought up in America. Obviously he will speak the language which is spoken there, and that is English. He will speak or she will speak English. If we cross culture this child, so this is very obvious in the human culture, in human language acquisition. Though the child is born in India, but it is brought up in America, then obviously he will speak the language over there. So this is this is the cultural transmission of language. And if you find any dog, any cat anywhere in the world, you will find the same kind of signals, same kind of symbols, same kind of sounds are produced by those animals wherever you find them across the globe. But the same is not the case with human language, because we have difference between these two systems. Next feature we have discreetness, and this feature is also very important regarding the both languages. What is discreetness? Discreetness is nothing but distinct sounds. We have different types of sounds in a human language, but here we have very limited set of sounds in animal communication. Second difference is we have different types of meanings with the same sound, and in animal communication we do not have this kind of thing, means same sounds across the globe. Just we have seen the example. For example, birds, parrot or dog or cat have same sounds in India and America. So American dog will have the same sounds, American cat, American parrot as have in India. The same kind of things we have with animals or in animal communication, but the same is not the thing in human communication. So we have sounds and symbols or written counterparts to these sounds. For example, here we have p sound and b sound, And if we use these sounds in different combination, for example the word pack and word back, the meaning is different. So here meaning changes, and this is a very we can say that crucial feature of human language. This discreetness, it has a distinction. Though we have different sounds, but these sounds also can be used in a combination to form the words, and these words have different meanings. So the same is not case with the animal communication. It is a very different type of communication. Now last feature here we have duality. And in duality we find that we have two levels or two layers of human language. For example, we have individual sounds which do not have any meaning, and when we use these sounds in particular combination, for example we have here n, b and e sound, and if we use these sounds in particular combination, for example nib and bin, we have two words here, and these both words have distinct meaning. This is the duality or layers or levels of language. But in animal communication we do not have any level or any layer, only we have sound production, and wherever you go you have the same sounds. For example, cat have meow sound or dog have grr sound, and if you dissect these words or these sounds, for example in e, o, w or o, m or E, O or W, they do not have any meaning or any kind of communication. They cannot produce such sounds. So they have only this kind of discrete or we can say that the finite sounds or finite signals with them, and with the help of these sounds or these signals they communicate. But it is unlike here in human language. We have different types of sounds and we use this combination, and with that combination we have different types of words with different meanings or distinct meanings. So this is duality of human language, which is a very important feature or characteristics. Now there are some other characteristics which can be applied or which can be considered with human and animal communication. For example, very first here we have vocal auditory channel. So both animals and humans also have this vocal auditory channel through which we produce sounds, and we have predisposition of learning a language. We have different types of systems, physical systems embedded in human being, and through this we produce sounds and we use language. Then we have reciprocity is nothing but we have sender and receiver of the message. In both, in animal and in human language also we have both kind of things, sender and receiver. Someone is speaking and someone is listening. Say for example, I am just here speaking and you all are listening. So this is the reciprocity of human language. And animals also have, some animals produce signals, some animals produce sounds, and other animals listen to those sounds and they become aware about the animals. Then we have specialization. So we use language only for communication. There is no any other function of the language except communication in human and animal language too. Then we have non-directionality, means one can speak to anyone. Though he is not visible to the other person, he can have communication, means there is non-directionality. In animal language also, or in animal communication also, this non-directionality we find. So again we have last feature here, rapid fade, means we produce signals in the air and these signals just disappears quickly. So this is also a feature of human and animal communication. Say for example, I am speaking to you, I am producing different types of sounds and I am producing these sounds in a particular language, but these sounds are produced in air and they are vanishing immediately or they are disappearing immediately. So this is the abstractness of language, and this is the we can say that the last feature, rapid fade of the language. I hope you might have understood all these features. If you have any problem, any query, you can comment below in the comment section. We will again discuss on the same problem. So thank you very much for watching the complete video. Let's meet in the next video.